Hey guys, what's going on? Chris Hunter here, and today I was just reading through some of the comments on my other videos, and I saw some of you guys wanting to see my training point type of card, how I spent them, and what I did and why I did each one. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a walkthrough on why I spent which schools, and I'll explain, if you're this school, if you should get this or not. So yeah, I'm just gonna hop right into it. Let's go to my deck. We'll start with fire. Nothing from fire. I didn't really see any benefit in training fire. What there is fire has the ice and storm shields. I don't really see how that would benefit over the storm and fire, just because when you do train up to tower shield, you get the fire and storm. So yeah, nothing in fire. But as we went to ice, I trained up to tower shield. Now every school, no matter what one you are, I think should get tower shield. It's a great thing to have no matter what you're doing, PvP or questing. So definitely recommend that. It takes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It takes 5 training points to get. So definitely highly recommend that. Next thing from the ice school that I got is stun block. Stun block you can get from Diego. I do recommend getting it even if you don't PvP, just because on some higher dungeons they do stun a lot, and if you're soloing and there's a lot of myth, stun shields actually come in handy a lot. So definitely recommend getting that. And Winter Moon I just got from a drop on Lore Master. Storm. If you're not Storm, I would not recommend getting anything from the Storm School, just because it goes up to Stormzilla, and it's not really worth getting the Fire Ice Shields or any of the traps or anything, so I don't really recommend doing that. If you're Storm, obviously you get them for free, so that's that. Moving on to Myth. This, I just got it from, I think it was Kodo in Mushu, so if you want to farm that guy. But I don't really recommend going for Ninja Pigs. I just got it, so yeah, I didn't spend a training point on that. Life, since I'm Storm, it kind of is a big decision whether I want to get Life and Death School, and I'll tell you why I did both of them. For Life, I went up to Satyr. Now, originally I was just gonna go up to Legion or Legend Shield, because Death and Myth, it's really common. Schools in PvP, and you get it's nice to have. So when I did that, I said, you know what, I have so many extra training points, I'm just gonna go ahead and get Satyr. At this time I was kind of a lower level and I had the Life Mastery, so I definitely recommend doing it if you're questing, like soloing, which is what I did. But at the higher levels with Healing Current, I'm not sure getting Satyr would be so necessary, but what I would do is just get Legend Shield. But by all means, if you want to get Satyr, go for it. Entangle, I got that from Colossus Boulevard in that Dispel type of room. She sells all the Dispels, including Life Trap and Reshuffle, so if you want to go and check that out, by all means go for it. Again, this is more of a PvP type thing of why I got it, Entangle. If you're lower level PvP, let's say around 60, definitely recommend getting Entangle with the Life Mastery, and then obviously you'd get Satyr. So so far Entangle and Stun Block are kind of the two PvP things related. Then when we jump into Death, Death was really good of what I got out of it. So I went up to Feint on the Death School. Now Feint does take a lot of training points. It costs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, am I right? 7. It costs 7 training points to get Feint. So, it is a big investment to your training points and what you want to do with them. Although, the thing that I find that comes most in handy with is that, let's say I have another Storm with me that is tanking, or not tanking, but that they're hitting, and I'm taking. I like to do the Feint on that. It's really helpful and just gets the job done fast, like when I'm farming Morganth. So faint, by all means, not necessary, but you know, when you do train it, you do get the 2 shields if you want them. Doom and Gloom and Infection. These 2 are really PvP type of cards that I did. Infection, I recommend getting Infection no matter what level you are, from level 10 to like 100. So Infection is a great pip builder in PvP, and it'll suppress their heals at the time when you're casting it, so you definitely want to get Infection. It's a great spell to use in, you know, 1v1 up to 4v4, so definitely get that. And if you do not know where to get the Infection, it is the Death Tree near the Sunken City dungeon, behind the waterfall in the Commons. You can go train that. Doom and Gloom, this is not really a bubble that I ever saw getting, but you know, I do have the Death Mastery, and sometimes I like to change up my strat just a bit, and I don't know, I just figured why not. It's 1 training point, I just had fun with it, but I wouldn't recommend getting Doom and Gloom. I just got it because why not. So yeah, well, we'll go on to balance now. I just got Elemental Blade. You can get the Elemental Traps or the Spirit Blades / Traps. So I don't know, I didn't really want to get the traps on my Storm, but on my Fire I actually did get the traps. Looking back at my Fire, I wish I didn't really get the traps now, just because I never really used them, and on my Storm I never really would have used them either. So from my opinion, I would just get your Blade. So if you're Life, Death, or Myth, get the Spirit Blades, that's it. And if you're, you know, Ice, Fire, or Storm, just get the Elemental Blades. Astral Spells is one of the biggest things that every single school is going to want to invest in. No matter what school you are, you're going to want to train up to Colossal, so you know, you'll have to go through the Strong, Monstrous, Gargantuan, and Giant to get to Colossal. So yeah, I definitely recommend getting Colossal. I do not hit if I do not have Colossal. It's a huge difference, and you do not want to go without it. Next, we got Potent Trap. Potent Trap is it's something I recently bought when I started to get my Jade gear and tank for people. It helps a lot with the feints, obviously, and in Morganth it just goes way faster if a Storm has you know, Potent, Feint, and they're also supporting another Storm. It just makes it easier, so that's why I bought that. It's only 1 training point, and I figured why not. Sharpened Blade. Every school is going to want Sharpened Blade no matter what. You know, you're getting 2 extra blades that are even more powerful. You know, you can latch them onto your balance blades, whatever one you got, and then your school's blade. So definitely recommend getting Sharpened Blade no matter what. Next, we got Galvanic Field. Galvanic Field is a great storm damage spell. I use it in questing mostly. PvP, I don't really recommend it at all, just because it's, compared to like Infallible, there's no question which one is better. Again, this is Infal. I recommend getting it if you PvP. If you don't PvP, I wouldn't really highly recommend it. But you know, it's nice to have some Infals in your deck, including your TC deck. So I would only train Infal if you PvP. And Galvanic Field goes for any other school. You know, every school has their damage level. I know, you know, fires like Furnace, stuff like that, like like Virulence and Chastisement, stuff like that. You guys are gonna want to get your auras, whatever school you are. So go ahead and do that. Conviction and Cloak. These 2 are really tied in with PvP. Cloak especially. I have found it a huge, well, I have found a huge difference in the amount of, you know, strategies I can now use when I do Cloak. Cloak I find really useful in 2v2s after you get that first guy down and their, you know, like tank is left. I love to Cloak infections in 2v2. It's a big help, and you know, you'll see how much of a difference it can make. So definitely go ahead and train Cloak if you PvP. It's a great spell. You can cloak your stun blocks, which I'll go ahead and explain this. So let's say you're PvPing and you got stun block and a cloak, and let's say you're facing a life. They might think that you cloaked this shield, so that they're gonna want to try and get this life shield off and put on, and you're gonna have stun block. So when they maybe like wand it off, they're gonna be like, oh crap, you know. I actually did that to Lewis in our 1v1 video that we did. It's two videos ago, I think it is, on this channel. So if you want to go and check that out real quick, you can. That was one of the strategies I was using with Cloak. It's a really good strategy, and it's really good. Conviction, you know, it's just for, you know, really good in Shadow Strike mode. You know, got that 90% stun resist and then a plus 90 block. So as we move on to shadow spells, which is our last column here, these two I got for free because it comes with Storm. You know, the shadow spells, Shrike I recommend getting no matter what school you are, unless you're like a tank for your team or something, and you know, you're never gonna need it. The 2-pip shadow spells though, I would not recommend getting. You know, I've never really used Nova, and I wouldn't be interested in any of the other ones. But I do know that some people who have certain strategies like to use Dark Nova, which is perfectly good if it works. So yeah, that's how I spent my training points, guys. You can go back through the video and, you know, look at where I stopped and started. I know this has been kind of a mouthful of information that's being thrown at you right now, but in the description I'm going to go ahead and, like, you know, tell you guys how I spent my training points so you'll have a guide to look at. I hope you guys like this video. I just thought I'd give it to you guys that are looking for it. We're going to get a PvP episode out to you guys. I actually recorded one and I went to go listen to it in my editing stage and it didn't have my sound. So that was pretty awkward. I was a little bit mad and angry. I lost to an ice. It was a 15-minute match, and he just kept healing and healing towards the end, and I insane bolted and killed myself. What's new? So that was that match. I might get a 2v2 or a 3v3 matchup for you guys, which I think would be amazing, just because actually he messaged me during the video. Nick right here, I like 2v2 with a lot on his life. We're a really good team. We're undefeated. But anyways, guys, that's my deck setup. Not my deck setup, my, you know, how I trained my training points to do it. And by the way, if you do what I do with training points, you'll have 8 left over. And I've done every single training point quest. So, well, actually no, I have not done the Chrysalis Prospector Zeke training point quest. So if you do every single one, you'll have 9 left over with the way I went with my training points. And I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to comment down below, leave a like, and subscribe to stay tuned. And YouTube, we'll see you later. Peace.